Mumbai, a city that pulsed with life, now suffocating under a shroud of fog. The air, thick and heavy, clung to everything, a silent accomplice to the horrors unfolding. Visibility was reduced to a few feet, streetlights casting eerie halos in the gloom. A city that never sleeps tonight held its breath. Somewhere in its belly, a heart beat erratically, a frantic rhythm against the silence. Detective Kabir Malhotras. Kabir's head throbbed in time with the dull ache in his wrists bound tightly behind him. His eyes, struggling to focus, made out the vague outline of his surroundings. An abandoned warehouse, its cavernous interior swallowing the weak light filtering through the grimy windows. The air hung heavy with the stench of mildew and fear. Each labored breath sent a searing pain through his ribs, a grim reminder of the beating he had endured. He strained to recall how he ended up here, in this cold, damp tomb. Images flashed before his eyes. A romantic dinner, Ananya's radiant smile across the table, the glint of something sharp in her eyes. Ananya, his Ananya, the woman he loved, the woman he had pledged his life to. Or so he thought. The fog outside seemed to press against the windows, a malevolent entity holding him captive in its silent embrace. A chilling premonition gripped him. This was no ordinary nightmare, this was his reality now. A waking nightmare where the monster wore a familiar face. A soft click, the distinct sound of heels against concrete, echoed through the vast emptiness of the warehouse. His breath hitched. She was here. Ananya emerged from the shadows, her silhouette a dark apparition against the faint light. Her long hair, usually worn loose, was pulled back in a tight bun, revealing the sharp angles of her face. She moved with a newfound confidence, a predator circling its prey. "My darling Kabir," she purred, her voice a chilling contrast to the endearment. "Look at you, all tied up. How very vulnerable." Kabir's heart hammered against his ribs. This wasn't Ananya. This cold, calculating creature was a stranger wearing his lover's skin. "Why, Ananya, why are you doing this?" He choked out, the words rasping in his dry throat. Her laughter echoed through the warehouse, devoid of any warmth or mirth. It was the sound of a soul fracturing, shattering into a million pieces. "Why, darling, don't you see? This is who I am. This is who I've always been." Ananya's transformation had been subtle, like a creeping vine slowly enveloping a sturdy oak. At first it was just a flicker in her eyes, a fleeting darkness that he mistook for passion. Then came the subtle manipulations, the casual cruelty towards others, dismissed as quirks by her adoring Kabir. She had mastered the art of deception, weaving a web of lies so intricate that he had willingly walked into its silken trap. He had been so blinded by love, so eager to see the best in her that he had ignored all the warning signs. Now, staring into her cold, emotionless eyes, he saw the truth. The woman he loved was nothing but a phantom, a figment of his imagination. In her place stood a monster, her heart a cold, desolate wasteland. "You fascinate me, Kabir," she murmured, running a finger down his cheek, her touch sending a shiver down his spine. "The way you trust, the way you love so blindly, it makes you so easy to break." The hours that followed were a blur of pain and terror. Ananya, reveling in her newfound power, subjected Kabir to a series of torturous games, each one designed to break him, to strip away his dignity and leave him a quivering wreck. She moved with a chilling grace, her voice a soft whisper against the backdrop of his groans. She spoke of her past, of the darkness that had always lurked beneath the surface, of the thrill she derived from inflicting pain. Through the haze of agony, a terrifying realization dawned on Kabir. This wasn't about revenge, wasn't about anger, this was about something far more sinister. An innate need to dominate, to control, to savor the suffering of another human being. Ananya wasn't just a killer, she was a predator, and he, her unfortunate prey. As she leaned in close, her lips brushing against his ear, he caught a glimpse of something cold and calculating in her eyes. a glimpse into the abyss that was her soul. "Don't worry, darling," she whispered, her voice like silk over steel. "This is just the beginning. The game has only just begun." A sudden crash from outside jolted Kabir back to the present. His heart leaped with a flicker of hope. Could it be backup? Had someone discovered his disappearance? Ananya's head snapped towards the source of the noise, a flicker of annoyance crossing her features. For a moment their eyes locked, and in that shared gaze Kabir saw his opportunity. With a surge of adrenaline he lunged forward, headbutting Ananya with all his remaining strength. She stumbled back, momentarily stunned. It was all the time he needed. He strained against the ropes, his muscles screaming in protest. "You're stronger than I thought," she rasped, wiping the blood from her lip. But her voice held a note of respect, almost admiration. Before he could react, she sprinted towards the back of the warehouse, disappearing into the shadows. He heard the screech of tires, then silence. She was gone. Kabir lay there, his chest heaving, the weight of his narrow escape settling upon him. He had survived, but at what cost? He had looked into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back. The fog outside had lifted, revealing a city slowly awakening to a new day. But for Kabir there would be no dawn, only the long, dark night of his soul. He knew with bone-chilling certainty that this wasn't over. Ananya was out there and the game was far from finished. And somewhere in a quiet corner of the city, a phone booth's ringing broke the morning silence. A gloved hand picked up the receiver. "Hello, darling," Ananya's voice purred, a hint of a smile in her voice. "I have a new game in mind."